Hi everyone, this is Mike Klein. I'm super excited to talk to you about my new sample pack, mainly recorded on this modular system. But today I actually don't want to go through the samples individually. I just want to show you how you can make the samples your own. Because I think with sample packs, there's always the fear that in the end everybody's going to sound the same who's using the samples, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So just let me show you some tips and tricks on how to make those samples your own. Let's go. So let's look into the sequencing pack of mine. Let's just quickly throw in some kick loop in here and maybe exactly some hats, just so we have a foundation to work with. So now maybe let's look at some modular leads. Let's see what we're gonna like here. Let's maybe take this one. So what I'm doing most of the time, then basically one of the things that I do when it comes to making a loop like this more mine, and having it like develop over time and also like give it a little bit of randomness, is obviously working with effects. So let's see what I'm doing. For example, is I really like the format filter, which is in Native Instruments Guitar Rig. Switch it to stereo real quick, and within Tractors 12 there is something called format filter, and let's see what effect it's going to have. So here it's basically a format filter sweeping up and down based on my control. So what I like to do then is to introduce a little bit of randomness here. So rather than me tweaking the knob or writing automation data, I like to work with LFOs. So within Max for Live, there is this audio effect called LFO here. And then basically I just make this one knob here mappable and assign it to that LFO. So maybe it's going a little bit too far. Let's tame it a little bit. And let's change it from sine to random. So you already hear that it's introducing quite some random movement into the sample. But if you want to go, you can obviously go even further, like working with more effects, chaining up more effects, which then even increases the complexity of the randomness. So what else I really like to do is Isotope has an amazing plugin called Trash. And let me move the compressor to the end of the chain, and let's see what Trash can do. Let's go classic textures. There we go. So we have something quite aggressive. So I think you're going to be able to hear it better, what the effect actually is. So I'm also going to expose that dry wet parameter now to keep it simple. And I'm going to duplicate an LFO and now assign it to the global mix of here. I'll also keep it random, maybe give it a slightly different rate. And now let's see how it sounds. Compared to the loop without any effects. And obviously you can control those parameters, then like make it not so random during parts of your arrangement to actually have a little bit more control, for example during breakdowns and drops. But let's see, for example, how it behaves, like the same chain, how it would behave in something else. Maybe let's look at some modular basses here, something like that one. What's also always cool is to work with more buffer styled effects as well. So something that kind of chops up the sample as well. So there's I think something else in here called Beat Slicer. And now it's basically, that effect is basically slicing the sample, rearranging it in a different pattern. You can play with the parameters here. things. I think you get the idea that basically samples that are made by somebody else, in this case by me, you can really make them your own quite easily, working with effects, chopping them up, editing them. So I think there is no worry of everybody suddenly sounding the same because they're using the same sample pack. So this is one of the tricks that I'm frequently using when working with sample material. So I hope you like the pack. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, keep me posted what you think about it. Cheers.